What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping in. Today, we have a new budget knife from CJRB to check out. Shout out to them for sending this in. If you like knife and EDC content, you're in the right spot. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and let us know what you're carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. So I have a new Acacia here, and we'll unbox this one in case anyone hasn't seen this yet. But I am pleasantly surprised with this knife right here. I didn't know, number one, that it was even a knife. But number two, it is comparatively very good up against its other brothers and sisters in the catalog, which we'll take a look at here in a moment. I will have all this stuff linked down below in the description. So you can see here, we are looking at black and blue FRN handles, which means these are going to be very affordable. They're shooting for something similar to the Pyrite Light series. So these are probably going to be right around $30, which is very impressive. Some people are holding the Pyrite Light as budget knife of the year, and I can't really argue with that at 30 bucks. We're looking at RPM 9 here, and this might overtake that. RPM 9 with a stonewash finish, a nice blade stock, pretty thin. And we have a full flat here. We have this half moon cutout, which is a game changer. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Both knives seem to have nice, strong springs, and that is going to be very good because we want that resistance for a satisfying opening action, and that is going to provide that. Look at that. Very good. That means we have nice, strong springs in there, and that's something you want to look for to at least get some semblance of a good deployment out of a crossbar lock, and they have come a long way since first, getting out into the world, so to speak. And CJRB has done a real good job with their crossbar locks. Silently or quietly, Kaiser has been getting all the praise for their crossbar locks, and they do a wonderful job. They really do. But CJRB also not far behind them at all in their crossbar locks, and that's what we're looking for, is solid action and for the lock to hold up against, a little bit of adversity. And every one that we've checked out has done well. And most crossbar locks do well in that type of testing. We're going to have a deep carry clip that is reversible. We have textured FRN handles here. I don't know if these are the only two versions. They probably are right now, but knowing CJRB, they will have some more options to go for here in the future. I do have one nitpick with this knife, and we'll get to that here in a moment. But I want to bring out some of its brothers here. So we have to give original praise to the Hectare. That was their first crossbar lock. Then I think they came out with what was the Prado here. Then I think they came out with the Shale. Then the Bologna. And then the Pyrite Alt there. So they have a nice catalog of crossbar knives. I think this is all of them. I could be wrong, and that's okay to be wrong, but I know the Hectare was their first one, and they really knocked it out of the park. Going back and looking at this knife, nice, strong springs, a little bit better access to that cutout. That was a gripe of many, but I never found it to be an issue. I could thumb and reverse flick this thing all day long, like you see here. Better access would make it better, no question. But it's pretty good as it sits. The Prado here, all fingerprinted up. This knife is really good. This is a Laconico design, and him and CJRB are a good team. This is really solid right here. So if you like a little bit larger crossbar lock, that's a good option there. But you can see this is going to fit in with the majority of their crossbar lock knives. We have a couple larger ones in the Bologna and Prado, and then everything else is pretty much mid-size. And that is where the Acacia is going to be a little bit larger than the Shale, the Pyrite Alt, and the Hectare, a little bit. So in between these larger knives and then the pyrite, or the, well, the Hectare alt and Hectare, I should say. But they are pyrites, just crossbar locks. Anyway, the Acacia has a different look and kind of aesthetic than what the pyrite or the CJRB Hectare here have in common. The pyrite and Hectare are, for all intents and purposes, the same knife, just with a crossbar lock switch. Now, one thing that really moves this up my ladder is this half moon cutout here. That is a big improvement, and it's going to make a lot of people happy because it is very easy to access. The Hectare, and I believe this is the Bologna here, the access isn't, this one's not bad at all. I don't think the Hectare is bad either. But this one is going to be very accessible. This one you can easily get to. And the crossbar lock action is phenomenal on it. But this one is going to be much easier for everyone. It's chamfered out nicely, and you can get to that half moon very easily. And you meet up with those nice, strong springs. So it's just very satisfying to open and close this thing. If you let off too early, the knife will kind of spring back. So if you, that's how strong they are, which is good. So you got to kind of time that down on the close. So just wanted to get a little family photo and just show kind of the progression that they have went through, and it's been a good progression. Everything here that you see has been very solid right out of the box. This is probably, well, aside from the new Acacia, this is the one I have the least experience with here, the shale, but it seems very similar to the rest. We are looking at studs though, so they really have a little something for everyone, whether you want studs or a cutout. They have drop points, they have clip points, they got worn clips. People will probably be looking for a cutout crossbar lock with a worn cliff or sheep's foot blade next. That's what I'm guessing for. But this is going to do very well. It's got a nice lower tip. It isn't low in comparison with the pivot, but it trails down nicely. And I think it's going to be a good worker. So we'll get a weight check on these, and these are not going to be heavy at all. We do have inset steel liners in there, which is very clean. Boy, 2.5 maybe? 2.7. Ooh! So we're at 2.65. 2.7. We'll call it 2.7. 2.7. Very lightweight. I mean, if that's heavy to you, I don't know what to tell you, pal. So we are looking at a nice deep carry clip there. And like I said, it will be reversible for our left-handed brothers and sisters out there. It's going to look clean in the pocket. Very common, casual, deep carry budget clip, and it's going to look good and clean in the pocket. You might see the butt end of that knife, but not much, and these clips have very good retention on them. The standard budget CJRB clip works very, very well. Now, the next thing we need to check is how is this thing going to cut out of the box? And what I was going to get at with what is my nitpick of this knife, and it's actually, it really has nothing to do with the knife itself. My nitpick is going to be the size. I wish this was more Prado size. I wish it was more Bologna size. That would have just made this thing so much better. We have seen this size so much throughout the year. And it just would have been nice, you know, it would have been nice if this was like 8 1/4 overall. And we didn't check the actual measurement on it, but you're going to see here, it's only at about 7 1/4. So I wish it was just a little bit larger. And for people wondering, sorry, we are looking at over 3 inches of blade, 2 3/4 inches of cutting edge, and then just shy of 3 1/4 overall. So this will be a little too large for 3-inch and under areas, but these are going to carry very easily. They're going to cut very well. They're going to be comfortable. You have a nice neutral grip here in the standard grip. You can choke up behind that edge. You'll be able to get up on that tip very easily and do some precise work. This is going to be a nice little pocket knife for people. This can, a lot of knives can take on that namesake, but the bug out killer, quote unquote, this could be an option for that. Someone seeking something that's like the bug out, but going to be much, much more affordable. Here is a full-size bug out. So you can see, not the exact same thing, but if you're looking at a bug out and you're like, oh, that's a little pricey for my blood, the Acacia will be a nice option, for $30 or whatever these are going to come in at. It's going to be a steal of a deal. We'll check both these. That's great. We got 2. So we can check both. Very good. If you're not happy, very good. Okay, get the other one here. We don't discriminate here. That sounds good. It sounds nice. When the blade gives the blow back. Very good. The only thing and I don't think it would cost much to do it, and I've talked about this many, many, many times. I'd love it if these guys run us a full FRN backspacer up that whole spine. It's not gonna add much weight. It won't add anything in cost but pennies. That would make this thing, and it wouldn't add much weight, trust me, and it would just make this even more comfortable. If I ever design a knife, it's going to have a full-length backspacer no matter what the material is. But, I just think a backspacer makes a huge difference in ergonomics. It can. It doesn't always, but it can. Sealing up that spine can be a huge difference in the comfort of that knife. Now, this knife is very comfortable as it sits, and they're trying to keep the price low. You'll have to let me know. What do you think of CJRB? What do you think of the new Acacias here? This one has a nice little ting-ting. I don't know if it's coming through. Nice little ting. Does this one have it? Not quite. This one. You hear it? Very nice. Gotta love a little acoustics. But, CJRB just knocking it out of the park all year long. I think all of these models, except maybe the Hectare, all came this year. So, that's pretty impressive. This one might have even come this year. I'm not 100% sure on that. Have to look into that. But if anything looks appetizing here, these are all going to be very, very affordable, and they're on a massive sale right now. Let me know which one's your favorite out of all these. I love hearing from you guys on these new knives. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That helps push the video to more people. If you're new here, I release daily knife and EDC content just like this. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Ring that bell. That'll notify you anytime I release new content. I'll put up a couple of new videos on your screen. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.